Ikenna was born healthy, but he never truly belonged to this world. While you enjoy the story, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment for more interesting stories.
My name is Nkem, daughter of Obianuju, wife of no man, mother of none, but caretaker of many. I have lived in this village for over 60 years, and I have watched children turn into adults, adults turn into ancestors, and stories turn into warnings. There are stories you tell children to make them behave. But this one you tell so people will understand the weight of vows, the depth of sorrow, and the eyes of beings we do not see. Whenever young people gather under my udala tree and ask, "Enen Nkem, tell us the story of the snake girl and Ikenna," I always look toward the river, breathe slowly, and say, "What I will tell you is not a tale. It is something I lived. Something that changed everything." And each time I begin, my voice shakes, because my heart still remembers everything. I was there the day Urema first told me she was pregnant. Her smile was wide, her eyes bright, her steps light. Her husband had died years before, and loneliness had been slowly drying her spirit like harmattan wind dries clothes. So when she whispered to me, "Nkem, I carry a child," I hugged her tight. She needed joy. She deserved joy. We prepared herbs. We sang songs. We prayed for a safe delivery. But the pregnancy refused to follow nature. 7 months passed, nothing. 9 months passed, nothing. A full year passed, nothing. People started avoiding her. Some women feared her stomach. Some refused to sit near her. And some whispered, "Whatever she carries is not a child." 16 months. Oh, that is not normal. Something is wrong. Something is seriously wrong. By the 14th month, even I began to fear. Her feet swelled. Her eyes sank. Her breath became shallow. Her skin darkened like someone fading into death. She stopped sleeping. Stopped laughing. Stopped hoping. One night, as we lay on her mat, she held my wrist tightly. "Nkem, I am dying." "No," I said, but my voice trembled. She stared at the ceiling, tears sliding into her hair. "If this child does not come out, we will both die. Both of us." I pressed my forehead against hers. "We will find a way. We must." But I did not know how. 16 months. That was when she finally broke. She woke before sunrise and said, "I will go to Oshimiri today." Her voice had no fear. No doubt. No strength. Just surrender. I grabbed her arm. "Urema, no. You know what that place is. You know what she demands." "I know," she said softly. "But I will die if I do nothing. I have no more strength left." I followed her. The path was narrow. The trees were still. Even the birds seemed to hide. When we reached the riverbank, the water was too calm, frighteningly calm. She knelt. I stood behind, my heart pounding. Then she raised her 2 hands and cried, "Oshimiri, Mother of the Deep, hear me. Spare my life. Let me deliver this child." Her voice cracked. "If you help me, I will give you the child. He will serve you. He will belong to you." My knees shook. "Urema, stop. Don't." But my words fell like stones into silence. Then the river moved. Not like wind. Not like fish. Like something beneath it was waking. A long brown snake with white markings rose from the water. It did not crawl out. It floated. It lifted its head slowly, watching Urema. Its eyes were calm, too calm. Urema bowed her head and whispered through tears. Save me. Please. The snake blinked as if acknowledging her vow. Then it disappeared into the water. A heartbeat later, her scream tore through the air. Nkem. My child is coming. Her water broke at the riverbank. I held her. I shouted for help. Women came running. Within 1 hour, the child she had carried for 16 moon cycles finally entered the world. He was quiet. Too quiet. No cry. No struggle. His eyes moved slowly as if he had already seen enough of life. When Urema held him, she sobbed so hard her body shook. She named him Ikena, strength of the father. But behind the joy, whispers grew like weeds. She made a vow. That boy is for the water spirit. He is the child of Oshimiri. Women carried their babies away when she walked past. Men avoided praising the child. Children ran when they saw him. But I looked at him, and I loved him from the beginning. His skin glowed like it had been washed in river light. His eyes were sharp, deep, serious. And even as a newborn, he watched water the way other babies watched their mothers. That night, when everyone left, I sat beside Urema on her bamboo bed. She touched her son's cheek and whispered, I promised him away, Nkem. What have I done? Her tears wet his blanket. I cupped her face. You did what you had to do to survive. But in my heart, I knew a vow like that demands something in return. Ikena began to crawl early, too early. 4 months old and already moving like he knew where he wanted to go. And always, his tiny hands led him toward water. Once, when he was just a baby, we found him outside the hut, crawling toward the river path. Another time, he slipped from Urema's wrapper and almost reached the bush behind the shrine. Each time we carried him away, he cried, not normal baby tears, but a soft, strange wailing that sounded like someone calling back to someone else. By age 3, he could walk. By age 4, he could wander. By age 5, he could disappear. One morning, Urema came running to my hut, shaking. Nkem. He is missing again. We searched. We shouted. We asked villagers. No sign. Then I thought of the river. When we got there, the boy was standing at the edge, barefoot, calm, looking into the water as if listening to someone we couldn't hear. Urema ran and grabbed him. Ikena. What are you doing here? He blinked slowly and said. She called me. Who? I shouted. He pointed at the river. The girl. She says I should not stay too far from her. My heart turned cold. There is no girl, I whispered. He smiled softly. You cannot see her. As he grew, I began to notice other things. He never feared darkness. Never feared water. Never feared snakes. One evening, I saw him sitting under the mango tree, talking softly, answering questions we could not hear. Ikena, I asked gently, who are you speaking to? He smiled like someone who understood secrets. She is telling me stories. Who? He looked beside him, then back at me. The girl from the river. A cold wind blew across my neck. I wanted to run. But something held me, love, fear, duty. I don't know. Is she here now? I whispered. He nodded. She stands beside you. I froze. I did not turn. I did not breathe. Even the air felt different. Then he looked away, humming a strange melody that did not sound like the songs we teach children. The day the village truly began to fear him happened when he was 7. 3 older boys, strong, loud, foolish, cornered him behind the school. They beat him with sticks, pushed him, Called him names. River child. Snake boy. Strange thing. I was on my way home when I heard crying. I dropped the firewood in my hands and ran. Before I reached him, before I could shout, a brown snake with white patterns slid out of the grass. Not fast. Not angry. Calm. Deadly calm. The boys froze. The snake curled around Ikenna like a protective arm. Its head lifted, its eyes sharp, watching the boys. The boys dropped their sticks and ran with the kind of fear only spirits can bring. I stood rooted to the ground, trembling. Ikenna touched the snake gently. Dalu. Thank you. Then the snake left as quietly as it came. I fell to my knees, breathing hard. Ikenna, how did it know you needed help? He looked at me with innocent eyes. I didn't call her. She heard me. Heard you. I whispered. She always hears me. That night, sleep refused to enter my eyes. After the incident behind the school, the entire village changed. It didn't take one day. Fear never arrives loudly. It grows quietly, like mold on yam. At first, people only whispered. That snake protected him too closely. Snakes do not behave like that. This is a child of the river. Then the whispers turned into avoidance. Mothers pulled their children away when he walked past. Women at the stream stopped washing and changed path. Men began to step aside when they met him on the road. Even children, who used to play with him, now stared from a distance, unsure if laughter or fear should come out of their mouths. I remember one afternoon, Ikenna carried a small clay pot to fetch water for his mother. A group of women were washing clothes at the river bank. The moment they saw him, they stood. Let's go. Let's go. He is coming. They left their clothes floating in the water and ran up the slope like goats escaping bushfire. Ikenna stood there silently, the pot still in his hands. He didn't cry. He didn't ask why. That was when I first saw a wound inside him, a deep one that no hand could heal. He simply dipped the pot into the river, filled it, and walked home. But that night, I heard him asking his mother, "Mama, am I a bad person?" The way Urema cried that evening, the walls of her heart shook with her grief. If the village suspected him before, the nightmares confirmed their fears. It began slowly. The first girl was Chimamanda, a sweet child who used to follow him around. She told him she liked him. She even plaited her hair for him. That night, she screamed in her sleep. "Mama! Snake!" She woke with scratches on her arms and bruises on her legs, injuries that made no sense. 2 days later, Olaido, who smiled at him during evening play, dreamt of a snake coiled around her neck whispering, "He is mine." Her mother took her to a dibia immediately. Then it got worse. Amoka, Oluchi, Ngozi, Ifioma, all the girls who liked him or got close to him, had terrifying dreams of being chased, beaten, wrapped, or dragged underwater by a snake. All of them said the same thing. The snake does not want me near Ikenna. Rumor turned into certainty. Mothers warned their daughters, "Do not go near that boy. He has a spiritual wife. Oshimiri guards him. His destiny is not for humans." The saddest part, Ikenna didn't even look at girls. Not out of rudeness, but because his soul was already claimed by something deeper. He didn't know how to love anyone but his mother. Watching that child lose innocent friendship, oh, it broke something in me. Chike. He was a child of laughter. Light-hearted. Always smiling, always joking. He and Ikenna grew up like twins. But the day the snake rescued Ikenna from the beating, Chike's eyes changed. Jealousy, when it enters a person, does not announce itself. It sits quietly like a python waiting for darkness. Chike began to notice how everyone whispered about Ikenna. How people stepped aside when he passed. How girls looked at him with fear and fascination. It got to him. He said things like, "So Ikena is now a spirit. What makes him special? So he has snakes guarding him." At first, it was playful. Then envy grew stronger. One day he said to me, "Nkem auntie, do you know? Even if I am dying, no snake will come for me. But for Ikena, they appear like servants." The bitterness in his voice scared me. "Chike," I warned gently, "leave the boy alone. Destiny is not a competition." But pride had already entered him. The first wicked thing Chike did came when the boys went to fetch firewood. He waited until Ikena walked ahead. Then he pushed him hard toward a sharp, rocky slope. I was not there. But the story ran through the village like wildfire. People said, as Ikena fell, a snake came out from nowhere, grabbed the hem of his wrapper with its mouth, and held him from tumbling down the slope. Chike fainted instantly. When he woke up, he was shaking like someone who saw the world of spirits. He screamed. She saved him. The water girl saved him. For a week, Chike did not talk. He stayed indoors, refusing to go near streams. I hoped it humbled him. I was wrong. Fear mixed with jealousy can turn a person into something dark. The day the two boys drowned changed everything. They were young children playing by the riverbank. The water swept them away. The village mourned. Grief is a sharp knife, it cuts logic first. Some men convinced themselves. This is Ikena's doing. He attracts the river spirit. She took our sons because of him. We must stop him before more children die. So they gathered at night. Strong men. Angry men. Men whose eyes were red from sorrow. They carried palm torches, machetes, and sticks. Their footsteps sounded like thunder as they marched toward Urema's hut. I was there that night. I was inside my hut, but I saw their fire from afar. Fear clamped my throat. I ran out. "Stop!" I shouted, "What has the boy done?" But grief deafened them. "This is bigger than your feelings, Nkem. We will not lose more children." As they approached the hut, something happened that they will never forget. Snakes. Not one. Not two. Not 5. 10. 10 snakes of different sizes and colors slithered onto the path, forming a wall between the men and the hut. The men froze. One snake hissed, long, loud, deep, like a voice coming from beneath the earth. Their torches fell from their hands. They ran. They ran as if the ground was on fire. The next morning, one of the men confessed. As we reached the hut, I felt someone watching me. Not human. Not animal. A presence, a power, and I knew that boy is not ours. From that day, no one dared to touch Ikena again. But the fear grew larger. After the snake incident, the elders called for a meeting. Old men with grey beards. Dibia from far villages. Highly respected women. People who understand the silent world. They sat in a circle at the square. I stood behind Urema, my hands shaking. The chief elder asked quietly, "Daughter of Amodi, is it true you made a vow at Oshimiri River before this child was born?" Silence fell like a heavy blanket. Urema's lips trembled. Then she nodded. Yes. A long breath floated through the gathering. The chief elder leaned forward. "Say the vow you made." Her voice cracked as she repeated the same words. "If Oshimiri saves my life, I will give the child to her. He will serve the water. He will belong to her." An elder woman hissed sharply. "Chinik." She gave him before his spirit even settled. Another stood. A vow made with life cannot be broken. The Dibia spoke last. He looked at Ikena with deep, ancient eyes. This child is not ordinary. He is washed, guarded, claimed. People shifted uncomfortably. Then he added, "But he is not evil. His destiny is heavier than any of you can carry. Do not touch him. Do not provoke the river. Let him walk his path." That day, they allowed Urema to go home. But something broke inside her. I saw it. She began to live with fear, not for herself, but for her son. By the time Akena turned 10, the village children no longer played with him. He sat alone under trees, walked alone to the stream, listened to voices only he could hear. Sometimes when I visited him, he would look up at the roof and say, "She is here." I would ask, "Who?" And he would smile softly. "You cannot see her." Some nights, I saw him standing outside his hut in the moonlight, staring at the direction of the river, as if something in the water tugged gently at his soul. Other times, I saw him crying quietly. "Mama," he would whisper, "why am I different?" And Urema would hold him and say, "You are my son. That is all that matters." But I could see she didn't fully believe her own words. A mother knows when something bigger than her is pulling her child away. When Akena entered adolescence, everything changed again, not slowly, not softly, but like harmattan wind that arrives overnight. His voice deepened. His shoulders widened. He began to look more like a young man than a child. But it wasn't his body that changed most. It was his spirit. He grew quieter. He spent long hours alone by the river. Sometimes he did not eat until evening. Other times he didn't sleep at night. I would pass by Urema's hut and find him sitting outside in the moonlight, staring at the direction of the water, his eyes distant. I once walked to him softly and asked, "Akena, what are you thinking?" He didn't turn. He didn't blink. Instead, he whispered, "She is calling louder now." A coldness spread down my back. "Who?" I asked, though I already knew. He pointed at his chest. "The girl from the water." I swallowed hard. "What does she want?" He finally turned to me, and the sadness in his eyes was too heavy for a boy of his age. Me. His dreams became a torment. He would wake up sweating, shaking, breathing hard like someone running from danger. Sometimes I heard him cry out at night, "No, leave me. I don't want to go. Let me stay with my mother." One night, I rushed into Urema's hut and found him sitting upright, his eyes wide open with terror. I held his hand. "Akena, talk to me," he whispered. She was here, haunting him. Not in the dream, in the room. "In this room?" I asked, looking around even though I saw nothing. He nodded quickly. She touched my face. My heart pounded. "What did she say?" He swallowed. "She said time is running out." That night, even the walls of the hut felt like they were listening. Chike's jealousy had not died. It had not even decreased. It had only changed shape. Fear had mixed with envy and created something toxic inside him. He hated that girls ran from him but stared secretly at Akena. He hated that boys feared him. He hated that adults whispered about him. He hated that Akena had something powerful behind him. So one day, Chike decided he would end everything. He dug a deep pit near the bush path where he knew Akena passed on his way to fetch firewood. He covered it with leaves and branches. He hid behind a palm tree, waiting. But destiny is never foolish. As Akena approached the trap, a small snake, not the large brown and white one, but a smaller one, crawled across the path and stopped directly on the covered pit. Akena paused. He looked at the snake. The snake looked at him. He stepped back. Then he turned around slowly and began to walk away. Chike, who did not realize what was happening, tried to run toward him. But his leg slipped into the trap he dug himself. He fell with a scream. A loud, painful, humiliating scream. People rushed into the bush and found him crying, his leg twisted, his pride shattered. That day, when they asked him, "What happened?" Chike said nothing. But later, he told me privately, shaking like a leaf. "Auntie Nkem, the snake looked at me. Like it knew everything. Like it was warning me." I touched his shoulder gently. "Chike, destiny is not a toy." He bowed his head. "But jealousy does not die easily." When he turned 16, something new began happening. Snakes started appearing in places where they should never be. One Sunday morning, during village gathering, a long brown snake crawled under the elder's bench, moved past Akena's feet, and disappeared as calmly as it came. No one screamed. Everyone was too shocked to move. Another time, during a wrestling match, a snake crawled straight into the ring, stopped in front of Akena, lifted its head, then turned and left. People stared at him like they were looking at a spirit walking in human flesh. One old man muttered, "This one is no longer among us." A woman said, "Chinik. Which human has such power behind him?" And another whispered, "He is marked. Marked from birth." Even I began to sleep less. Because every time I closed my eyes, I wondered, what else will come for him? No matter how mysterious a boy is, no matter how feared, there will always be one girl willing to love him. For Ikena, that girl was Ifeoma. Soft voice. Gentle eyes. Beautiful heart. She did not fear him. She smiled when she saw him. She brought him roasted plantain sometimes. One day she told him, "Ikena, I like you." He looked stunned. "Ifeoma, you shouldn't." She smiled sadly. "Why?" "Because people talk." "No," he said quietly. "Because she won't let you." "Who?" "The girl from the water." Ifeoma laughed at first. But that night, she woke screaming. She dreamt of a snake biting her chest. She dreamt of drowning hands pulling her into deep water. She dreamt of a girl with glowing eyes telling her, "He is not for you. Leave." The next morning, Ifeoma left the village to stay with her aunt. She didn't even say goodbye. Akena sat by the river for hours that day. When I found him, his face was wet, not with river water, with tears. "I just wanted one thing," he whispered. "Just one small human thing." I held him close. But even I knew, some destinies don't allow love. One night, when the moon was full and the air was too still, I heard a noise outside. I stepped out and saw Ikena standing by the riverbank, barefoot, trembling, staring into the water. I walked to him. "Ikena, what is it?" He didn't answer. Then, the river moved. Not waves. Not wind. The water rose, forming a shape, a feminine outline, a figure made of light and water. My heart almost stopped. I stepped back, trembling. Ikena whispered, "She is angry." "Why?" "Because I am trying to stay. Because I still want to live among you." The water spirit's voice was not a voice. It was a vibration, a presence, a force that entered the bones. Then I heard a whisper inside me. "He is mine." I fell to my knees. The river calmed. The figure disappeared. Ikena turned to me, tears running freely. "Auntie Nkem, I don't want to go." I held him like a mother holds her dying child. But deep inside me, I knew the truth. The river had started counting down. And when she finishes, no human hand can hold him. As Ikena entered his 20s, the village began to breathe with fear. Nobody said it out loud, but everyone felt it. The river would soon collect what she was promised. I saw the signs first, small at the beginning, like soft whispers before thunder. He grew weak at night. His dreams became louder. His footsteps slowed. His eyes looked tired, like someone who wrestled with unseen forces every night. One evening, I found him sitting alone outside his mother's hut, staring at nothing. "Ikenna," I said gently, sitting beside him, "you have been quiet. Even quieter than before." He looked at his hands. "Auntie Nkem, I want to tell you something." I nodded slowly. "I am listening, my son." He took a shaky breath. "For years, since I was small, I thought she was just a friend. Someone who watched me." He paused. "But she isn't." My heart beat faster. "Who is she?" I whispered. He swallowed. "She is my wife." The world around us went silent. "What?" My voice barely escaped my throat. He nodded slowly. "Before I was born, my mother promised me to her. A vow made with a life." His voice cracked. "She says she married me from the womb." A long silence filled the air, a silence so heavy it felt like a hand pressing on my chest. I whispered. "But you are human, Ikenna. You deserve a human life." He shook his head gently. "I was never fully human. I was born with one foot in this world and one foot in hers." I felt tears burning behind my eyes. He looked at me, and his voice broke. "Auntie Nkem, I want to stay. I swear I want to stay." I took his hands. "Then stay." His tears fell. "She won't let me." And in that moment, I knew destiny had already reached him. The hardest thing I ever watched in my life happened a few weeks later. Ikenna finally told his mother the truth. It was evening. The air was cool. Women were roasting corn. Children were playing with stones. I was inside Urema's hut when he entered quietly. "Mama, can we talk?" Urema smiled tiredly. Her fingers were weak these days. Her eyes always looked like she hadn't slept enough. "My son, sit. What troubles you?" He knelt beside her, took her hands, and said, "Mama, you are the strongest woman I know. So please be strong now." Her breath caught. "What is it?" He stared at her, and I saw something in his eyes, acceptance. The kind of acceptance that comes when fighting fate becomes useless. "Mama," his voice shook. "My time here is ending." Urema's face drained of color. "No. No, my child, don't say that. Don't speak such words." But he held her hands tighter. "Mama, she is calling me. I feel it every night. Every morning." A tear fell. "I cannot fight her anymore." Urema screamed. "I did not give birth to you for you to leave me." Her voice shook the hut. "You are my son. My only child." He cried too. "Mama, you promised me a way. You did not know what you were doing. But a vow is a vow." She fell on his chest, sobbing like a child. I was desperate. I was dying. I did not know any better. "Please forgive me. Please forgive me." He held her, crying silently. "Mama, I forgive you. I never blamed you. But I must go." "No," she screamed, gripping his shirt. "Ikenna, I will die without you." He pressed his forehead against hers. "Mama, I am not going far. I will be where water breathes. You will feel me in the rain, in the river breeze, in dreams." But she shook her head violently. "I don't want a spirit. I want my son. I want your laughter. I want your footsteps." He closed his eyes. And I sat in the corner crying, unable to breathe from the pain of watching a mother lose her only child to a vow she made in fear. That night, Urema cried until her voice disappeared. And I knew we were close. Very close. In Igbo land, when a spirit is ready to collect what is hers, the signs do not hide. The river changed. The water became clearer on some days, darker on others. Strange ripples appeared even when there was no wind. Birds stopped perching on the riverbank. And the most frightening sign. At night, we began to hear a woman singing from the water. Soft, sad, beautiful, and haunting. No human voice could make that sound. Children cried in their sleep. Men closed their doors. Women refused to pass the riverbank after sunset. One night, the singing was so loud that even the moon seemed to tremble. I went outside and saw Ikena standing alone, staring at the water. His shoulders were shaking. His hands clenched. His breath ragged. Ikena, I whispered. He didn't turn. She is preparing, he said quietly. Soon she will come. I stepped closer. Are you afraid? He shook his head slowly. No. I am only sad. Why? He finally turned, tears flowing freely. Because I want a life I will never have. My heart broke. I want to be human, hunting him. I want to marry. I want to raise children. I want to build a hut, laugh with friends, grow old with my mother. He sobbed. But I was born belonging to someone else. I held him tightly, my tears mixing with his. And above us, the river spirit sang louder, like she was calling her groom. I will never forget that night. Even if I live to 100 years, I will never forget. The wind did not blow. The sky held no stars. Even the crickets kept silent. At midnight, I woke suddenly, as if someone touched my shoulder. I stepped outside. I saw Ikena. He was walking toward the river, slowly, like his feet were not his own. His face was calm. Too calm. Ikena. I whispered, running behind him. He didn't stop. Hunting came, he said without turning, go back. No, I said, crying, I cannot let you go alone. We reached the riverbank. And then, the water glowed. A soft, blue-white light spread across the surface like moonlight trapped beneath. And she rose. The river girl. A woman made of water and light. Beautiful in a frightening way. Skin like wet glass. Eyes like the deep sea. Snakes circled around her feet. The air smelled like rain and flowers and something ancient. She stretched her hand toward Ikena. My husband, her voice echoed without sound, your path ends here. I held his arm, screaming. Please don't go. Please don't leave. Don't leave your mother. Don't leave us. He turned to me slowly. He smiled. A sad smile. A peaceful smile. A broken smile. Auntie Kem, thank you for loving me. Thank you for being my other mother. Thank you for seeing me as human. I collapsed to my knees. He touched my head gently. Tell my mother, she gave me life. Twice. Then he stepped forward. The water spirit embraced him. Her form wrapped around him like a shimmering cloth. He did not struggle. He did not scream. He simply surrendered. Slowly, they sank into the water. No splash. No ripples. No sound. The river swallowed him like he was always meant to return. And then, the water went still. Completely still. Like nothing had ever happened. I remained kneeling there for an hour, maybe more. I don't know. Time lost meaning. Everything inside me shattered. I had just watched a child I helped raise, the boy I loved, walk into the arms of a spirit bride. 20 years have passed since that night. I am an old woman now. My hair is white. My steps are slow. My voice trembles. Urema died 10 years after losing her son. She never recovered. She never smiled again. She never healed. Chak died unmarried, eaten by guilt and loneliness. The village changed. Houses changed. Children grew. Seasons passed. But the river never changed. Whenever harmattan comes, I sit by the hot window and listen to the wind. Sometimes, just sometimes, I think I hear a faint humming from the river. A song. A voice. Soft and sad. And I know, not with fear, but with certainty, that part of Ikena still lives under the water. Some say he is a guardian now. Some say he became one of the river spirits. Some say he died the moment he touched the water. But I know what I saw. He did not die. He went home. Spirit children, children born from vows, children promised before birth, they never truly belong to us. They come to earth like visitors, and they return like rain returning to the clouds. Whenever little children gather under my udole tree and ask me, Enen Inkem, what happened to Ikena truly? I close my eyes, breathe deeply, and say, he was loved by a mother, claimed by a spirit, and swallowed by destiny. And the truth remains. The snake girl and Ikena were never a story. They were a tragedy we lived. A tragedy the river still remembers ***.